The Advanced Quantum Algorithms class, taught by Dr. Thorne, had a stench that was reminiscent of chalk, dust, and condescension. When Maya Vance delivered her thesis on decoherence, resistant qubit arrays, Thorne did not only criticize it, rather he eviscerated it after she had presented it. This is not theoretical physics. It is science fiction. He scoffed at her while poking her paper as if it were radioactive. Ms. Vance, he then continued, maintain a straightforward approach. Your lack of rigor is a problem in this sector. A hush descended over the classroom. The whites of Maya's knuckles became white, but she did not flinch. In order to pay for her education, she had to work evenings and spend 3 years coding in lab time that she had stolen. Your undertaking has been ended. As per Ether Directive 7, I am taking leadership of the situation. What will Thorne say? All that is noise. Dr. Maya Vance will serve as the Director of Quantum Development, according to the new one. What Thorne did not know was that Ether Dynamics, a tech company worth $1 trillion, had already taken notice of Maya's flawed study. Her algorithm flourished at room temperature, resulting in a 900% reduction in expenses. All of Ether's board was drooling. It was a fractal watermark that could only be seen by qualitative and quantitative imaging techniques. In order to create his final prototype, Thorne used her framework without her permission. The attorneys for Ether had evidence. In the role of my research helper, you will be responsible for debugging hardware. However, Maya was deprived of his power, despite the fact that she needed his encyclopedic understanding of quantum error correction. Requiring intellect to serve a vision that it has previously disdained is the greatest kind of humiliation. You will refer to me as Dr. Vance if you like. Below 3 undergraduates, Thorne's name appeared in the credits as the 17th name. At the location where Thorne's hopes for the Nobel Prize formerly resided, Maya's autographed photograph now hangs. What is the caption? It was the fact that she deconstructed the playbook of the old guard that caused the shockwaves to travel through the company. She was aware that loyalty should be reciprocal. Ether Dynamics was pouring money into Thorne's own quantum project, which was ultimately unsuccessful. The much-loved Absolute Zero Initiative project of Thorne, within the next 48 hours, shut down. To no avail, Thorne. Superbly impressive. His haughtiness had caused him to overlook a significant flaw. His design needed temperatures that were very close to zero, which rendered it unfeasible for commercial use. Even Thorne might be seen toiling away. During this time, Maya's patent application, which had been submitted some weeks prior to his termination, arrived on the desk of Ether's CEO. There was a covert replication of her simulations carried out by their engineers. Her strategy was successful. Thorne went into work on Monday, prepared to dismiss underperforming workers, only to discover Maya Vance waiting in his office. The doors to the laboratory remained open. Direct presentations were made by junior researchers to executives. Thorne was already prepared to terminate the workforce. While Thorne's team used brute force cooling to combat quantum noise, Maya's method embraced entropy, therefore transforming decoherence into computing fuel. The prototype of Maya's actual design had already been fabricated. Thorne's section was given an ultimatum by the board of directors of Ether, which said, deliver a stable prototype within the next 90 days or face dissolution. Ether carried out a hostile takeover of Thorne's research institution, which was a move that might have been taken straight from a business thriller. Still then, the procedure that she underwent was surgical. No more the blazers from the thrift shop. It was a fitted outfit made of steel gray, as sharp as the edge of a cubit. Under Maya's leadership, New Thorne submitted a patent application. There will be no more anxious stillness. Dr. Thorne, she said, her voice being magnified by the acoustics of the room. At her back, workmen took his nameplate off the wall. What happened to Thorne, Maya's trap? She had hidden an Easter egg in her thesis. The Temperature Gambit. What is Thorne's fixation with temperatures that are close to zero? Maya took advantage of it, taking into consideration the human element. Maya appointed Thorne's disgruntled lead engineer, who had previously cautioned him about the cooling problem, as her deputy. Thorne was not terminated by Maya. It was then that she handed him a lab coat and stated, "You're staying." How come Thorne was recalibrating a photon sensor as Maya was looking at him? And the slogan of the institution was glowing on the wall before him. Rigor without imagination is blindness. It had been revised by Maya later that morning. After another 18 months, Project Vance successfully launched the first quantum mainframe that was within reasonable financial reach. The future belongs to the stubborn. It was not merely Maya's age or her background that caused shockwaves to go through ether dynamics, rather the first 90 days. A revolution that stayed silent. Maya moved like a quantum state, existing in several decisive acts at the same time, while the corporation anticipated a grace period. Rather of terminating workers, she quit projects. Her reasoning was as follows. Ether is not investing in scientific research. A product is being developed by us. However, Maya relocated them to her room temp qubit team, which caused the engineers to be prepared for layoffs. A change in the culture. This is the end of genius worship. It was her weaponization of what others saw to be instability. There will be no more 50-page reports. One slide summary with 3 data items were just what Maya required. What exactly is the issue? How does this resolve the issue? Next, what is the next step that may be taken? Thorne laughed it off, but Ether's chief financial officer lauded the enhanced efficiency. The leak Maya's roadmap was disclosed to Orion Quantum, which is Ether's most formidable competitor, by someone within. The stock of Orion increased until they recognized that Maya's leaked specifications had a catastrophic fault, which was something that only Thorne's previous crew would be able to identify: the trap. Orion squandered $200 million by repeating a decoy architecture. It's a fall of Thorne, as well as his unanticipated recovery. In the beginning, Thorne was enraged because he was assigned to hardware diagnostics. The breakthrough that he did not accomplish while he was working to fix a malfunctioning photon array. He discovered an anomaly, quantum entanglement at temperatures that were greater than what the theory predicted. The pill with a taste. He was honored by Maya, who gave him a personalized praise and a royalty share of 5%. There is no press. It's no ceremony. Proudness and practicality were at odds with one another. For the first time in 10 years, his work ended up having an effect on the actual world. The offer made by the competitor Thorne was approached by the CEO of Orion, who offered him 3 times his current pay in exchange for his departure. The man refused. It wasn't out of devotion. Rather, it was because Maya's laboratory was the only location going forward with new research. The Gambit in the boardroom. Ether's old guard delivered a retaliatory attack at the quarterly review. For the ambush? Vice President of Finance, Dr. Vance, your flat hierarchy is causing chaos. We require leadership that is structured. Place a seasoned executive who is male in a position of authority over her. The counter of Maya in the video that she showed, there was a compilation of engineers, janitors, and interns responding to the question, "What are we building?" Her vision was perfectly reflected in each and every answer. There has already been a change in the culture. After then, the last blow. If you're a structure now, you will delay launch by 9 months. Here's the price tag for that. The amount shown on the screen is $4.2 billion. Is the vote in a unanimous vote? The board decided to maintain her independence. That evening, Maya celebrated by herself, with her puppy and a cheap drink in her hand. There should be no gloating. The next issue that has to be resolved, Thorne made a request for a meeting a few days before the introduction of the product. It is not a bug, according to Thorne, that the interference pattern in the qubit array exists. It's supposed to be a feature, right? Maya's response: took you long enough. She disclosed the reality, which was that her program used quantum noise in order to generate more processing power. The laughter that Thorne let out was sincere and uninhibited. You played the entire field. The launch of Ether's quantum mainframe occurred on schedule. Stock prices skyrocketed. Ego of Thorne was moderated, but his brain was sharper than it had ever been. Continued to serve as lead scientist. When Maya was being interviewed during the press conference, a reporter asked her, "How does it feel to prove your doubters wrong?" The mic was adjusted by her. "No, I did not. They have shown that they are not significant." Thorne brought her a cup of coffee as she was leaving the stage. In silence, a toast. The time has come for the future. Moreover, it was obstinate.